All right, so to address the issue, which I know everybody's here about, last year I put an article out in the paper about the Hovsons, the Heritage Minerals Working Group, or what was going to happen in the process. So last year we created a working group where there was several members of the town council, several administrators from the town, and several residents from the town, where we worked together as a partnership and interfaced with Hovsons about their proposal for a new project in town. Yes, there's a 2004 agreement that's out there, and I'll come back to that. So we met with Hovsons over for the last year, every other week, and they exchanged ideas, we exchanged ideas. And recently we came to a conclusion that we would like for them to take the next step in the process. So we created what's called a redevelopment plan. That redevelopment plan, as the folks from the Finance Preservation Alliance will tell you, calls for 6,543 units, nice and easy. 6543, easy to remember. Do the working group, and I don't want to speak for the council, they have their own opinions, but I can assume, do we think 6543 is the number that this project will be? No. From here, if we approve this redevelopment plan, which is the first step in about a 20-step process, if we approve that, they now can go to the state DOT, the State Department of Environmental Protection, and present the plan to them. Who in this room thinks when they get back from the state DOT, the state DEP, or the county with regards to sewerage and water, that plan is going to be 6543? I don't. And I don't think anybody in this room thinks so.
Could be higher.
Okay? So, we have not approved anything. All we've approved is a tentative number that they can move on in the process. My thought, and the reason, this is my thinking, is I want them to have the ability to come back with whatever number they have, because that's when the rubber meets the road. When they come back from those agencies, we can enter into what's called a redevelopment agreement. That's the crucial contract in the whole process, where the township can ask, impose, request certain requirements. We can break this project up into phases, which is exactly what we intend to do, to where each individual phase can be supported on its own. For example, let's say the first phase includes 800 homes, or 1,000, whatever it is. That unit, that first phase, would have to be able to function within the town and be a net positive for the town for a number of different taxes, socially, traffic-wise. It would have to individually be able to operate within the town. But that's even if they get back here, okay? So let's go back to the 2004 agreement. Obviously, that was the result of years of litigation. And so the township, the state, Hovsons, they all, and the Pondlands Commission entered into this agreement for 2,400 age-restricted homes to be built. They could do that tomorrow. They don't have to do a thing here other than put in their application with the planning board, and those will be approved because it's already approved. They can do that. So we're looking at 2,400 age-restricted homes. This is a settlement agreement that can be modified if all the parties agree. Their first step is to come to Manchester Township to see if we will agree to something other than the 2,400 age-restricted homes. This is why I think it's beneficial to go forward. And again, I'm not going to speak for the council, they can voice their own opinions, which I know they will. But I feel it's beneficial to go forward because if we just do another age-restricted community, that will help us in the short term. Absolutely it will. We'll have 2,400 homes that will support our schools without burdening them with students. But I don't think that's the solution for Manchester Township because we already are adversely affected by the school funding formula. The number of seniors and senior homes compared to the students says that we can support all these students because we're a rich district. And if you know our town, we are far from a rich district. We're actually in the bottom 10% of average home price and average per capita income. So we are not a rich district. But if that community goes forward, let me take a step back. A part of that working group was our superintendent and business administrator of the schools. They were involved in this process. And so if that community goes forward, which they can do tomorrow, and there's nothing we can do about it, if that process goes forward and they build out, we run the risk of becoming a no-aid district. What that means is we don't get any of our school funding from the state. Right now we get 14%, which is not a whole heck of a lot, but it's a lot of money that I don't want you folks to have to pay. I don't want to pay. I'm going to be here for the next 25. I just had a kid this year. I'm going to be here the next 20 years. And And so this is going to affect me as much as you, okay? So if we go forward with that project, we face that aspect of potentially being a no-aid district. So then what are we left with? Well, we're left with the rest of the town that we can develop in to offset our costs. But we're going to be built out in, what's the estimate, about 10 years at most. So, where are we going to get development to offset our costs for the town? I'm not saying that it has to be 6543, because I don't know that that's a good number at all. But I don't want to kill the process now, because I want to see what they come back with and see if there's another project, another proposal that could benefit our town. The last thing I want to do is hurt the town. I know it's in our best interest, and you elected me to guide this process. And I'm telling you, that's what we're doing. We're at the front end of this process. We're not at the back end. Nobody's putting a shovel in that ground tomorrow for the 6543. They can do it for the 2400, but they can't do it for the 6543, and we're far from that number. You know, and I appreciate maybe appreciate's not the right word. So, as you know, recently some of you residents, which is why you're here, is that you received the mailing that went out to kind of like shock and awe you, this is going to happen tomorrow and the world's going to end. Well, the one part, and that's fine, I mean, that's you know, the environmental groups, which I respect, because they have a role in this process too. Because I do care about protecting the Barnegat Bay, I do care about protecting the climate, and we want to make sure that it works all the way around. The part of that letter that bothers me is any aspect that insinuates that while I'm here, that this is not an open government. Affects me because they sent an Oprah request for information. We could have denied that request because we had minutes at those working groups. We could have denied it because those are contract negotiations that are not necessarily privy to the outside public. We gave them without objection. We could have not given some of the internal reports. I personally emailed, had my secretary personally email to the Finance Preservation Alliance those reports the day after it was done. This government is open, and it is fair, and it is transparent. Thank you.
This whole process has been going on for a while. What Manchester has been faced with for years, we have a lot of households here. The thing that we don't have is a lot of businesses. Businesses are basically, if you're a business owner, I apologize, you're free money. Because you're not taxing our schools, you're not really causing us any infrastructure work, you know, maybe police department, things like that. So if you don't have the growth of a business, or even some residences, the cost of things keep going up. Health insurance, salaries, gas, and believe me, that's going to go up again before long too. You have nowhere to pass those costs on to except for the homeowner, the residents that are living here. We've tried to get businesses. We've been blocked how many times by Catherine, DEP, or somebody, so you don't have that big interest. I think that we owe this, and this is a concept approval. Basically, a town center that would have housing, various housings going out front of it. I think we owe it to the residents of this town to look at it. As the mayor said, there's numerous stopping points in this. The reason that the mayor and our committees have taken control of this is because we have that power to stop it. We've gone out and we've hired an independent assessor of the cost. It's not the Hovsons Group cost guy, budget guy, whatever you want to call him, for the financial impacts. He works for the township. We have the benefit that we're not paying the salary, but we are hiring him, so he's strictly independent of that. And he'll go through all this stuff and line up. If the numbers don't match up, I'm not going for it. I know the mayor's not going for it, and I know the council's not. But we have to look at what options do we have. We're not going to get a target, which is going to give you a big rainbow thing here, because you got 30% impervious coverage and all these other things. There's a lot of restrictions. This town has 53% of the acreage in this town cannot be built on, period. There's no options. I think we owe it to the residents to look at it. And don't take that as we agree with it, but we have to look at it. That's all I have.
With that being said, I'd like to open up the meeting to public comment on any particular issue, but let's speak orderly when we do so.
Commissioner Congress, 480 Woodford Street, Crestwood 6. I'm speaking, you mentioned residences. I certainly approve of businesses coming into the area. We certainly need a diversity of business, that's for sure, in my opinion. However, residences, in the Crestwoods alone, there are hundreds of empty homes. You know that. You know, if you're going to put more residences, I question that when we have such a drain on the residents already in the Crestwoods and the other villages because of the lack of residents themselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Steve Bates, 103 Dale Court. I am an alternate on the planning board as well. I'm here as a resident of Manchester Township. I too, like the mayor, grew up here, went to school here, plan on living here, and I love my township. I want to thank you tonight for tabling that until the planning board can give you recommendations. However, we could not make recommendations under the threat of lawsuit the other night. And I would hope the people of this township would understand that, because if you were in my shoes, it scared the hell out of me when I went sidebar being threatened to sue for volunteering for the residents of Manchester Township. It scared me. I went home discussing with my wife. I was ready to give up, but I'm not giving up. I think what happens is the shock and awe. 6543. Big pamphlets coming out, everybody's storming. It's crazy because I've been on the planning board for a year and a half. Do you know how many the average people come to a planning board meeting? 3. He's one. This is true. I got here the other night. People were raging. It was crazy. It was scary. Just like tonight. Everybody come in here ready to like and then when the mayor explained things, this room went. You could feel the tension level go down. So I would ask you, as residents, give it an opportunity. You think they're going to, the DEP's going to let us put 6543 out there?
Yes.
No way, but listen to this.
Absolutely.
I've lived here since early 80s. You know how many children have died out there? You know how many children have been paralyzed out there? I have a cousin right now that has an arm that dangles because of out there. We just lost a girl last year. And we'll probably lose somebody again this year because you're not keeping people out there. We put signs all over. Please go in now. We have people that come from New York and upstate with jet skis all over them lakes. Something has to be done out there.
But not a big home.
And I understand everybody's worried about 6543, but something has to be done.
That soil testing, is the soil, I'm sorry, one question.
Let's respect the speaker.
Right, I am, I just asked if I can ask the question.
Absolutely.
The soil testing, we had a project that in Staten Island, they wanted to build an asset.
Right.
The soil was tested.
Right.
It was contaminated.
Absolutely. And I'm not expert on
I
it.
think the speaker should make a point. And if you have a question, sir, you can come up.
Address it. But I'm telling you, there's people involved in here. It's just not like 5 guys and 4 guys on the planning board that are just going to zap this into reality. It's going to take time. And with all due respect to the seasoned adults in here, you probably won't even see it. And that's the truth. Okay, so let it take its course. Thank you very much for being here.
Hi, my name is Bernice Vale. I live at 3rd and Wilson Drive in Renaissance Community, Manchester. May Palmer, we appreciate everything you did when you came to our residents. You said that you're here to help the seniors. Me, that means that lowering taxes. My taxes have gone up. I'm a widow. I'm on a limited income. And I can't even afford to pay my taxes. I have to stop doing one thing to do another. Now you want to go over and build homes and businesses and everything? You're saying that it's age restricted, okay? Is that what you said, Mayor Palmer?
The original 2400 is age restricted.
Okay, but they're not sure.
No. The original 2400, if they were to build tomorrow, there'll be 2400 age restricted homes. Okay? So what the proposal is right now is 6543 with a mixture of age restricted and non-age restricted. But again, that's a tentative number, that's not what the...
Okay, but these homes, what are they, single-family homes, are they condos, are they townhouses, are they Section 8 homes?
No, well, any new development would have to have some affordable housing, that's just state law, but it would be a mixture of one-bedroom condos, two-bedroom condos, apartments, townhomes, and single-family homes.
Okay, and Section 8 also would be...
But that, any new development in the state of New Jersey, you have to build affordable homes, that's the law.
Okay, all right, I just want to make sure of that, but the thing is that when
And it's not
that...
Section 8, that's right, I heard you say affordable housing. It's not Section 8, it's affordable housing.
The thing is that we're supposed to bring our taxes down, not bring them up. Okay, and since I've been living here, my taxes have been raised twice. I left an area where I paid for school children, okay, to come down here so I wouldn't have all those taxes. And now people are leaving New Jersey because of the tax situation down here.
I agree. I mean, most of you people did not move here or live here, choose to stay here because you want to live in an urban area.
Correct.
You like the rural nature of this place. And like it or not, you are stewards of the water that the rest of us drink. 53% of your municipality is unbuildable for very sufficient and good reasons. Because it serves part of the pinelands and it serves to recharge the aquifer that we all depend on for drinking water. Like it or not, this is where you live. You are stewards and we depend on you. And the pressure to develop is great. So every few years, every 10 years it seems, you're going to get this kind of push to develop. This is all part and parcel, in my opinion, of, let's have some more development so that we can explain away this this gross amount of methane that they're going to pump into Manchester any second now. That's just going to go at the end of Colonial Drive here and Route 70. Do you know what's there? Nothing right now. So they're going to build a big station of some sort there. And this is just part and parcel of more justification for this methane. And you couldn't build enough houses around here to take all the methane they're going to bring to you. So they're going to have some kind of storage area here, and then they're going to pump it up either north or out to sea. But this is all part of it. And yes, there is a rush. And it might not seem like that to the elected officials, but I'm sure the Hovnanians or the Hovsons or the sons of Hovnanians, they're not your neighbors. They don't live here.
That's right.
They come, they build, they make their money, they leave, and it's not this.
10 years ago, I was in a lot of hearings like this. Because guess what? Our elementary school was funded by our local property taxes. We were paying 94% of our elementary school, even worse than you. Even worse. We have no ratables in Chesterfield. You at least have some. Well, great idea. We're going to put a massive development in, and it's going to have a lot of commercial properties to offset the new residents. Probably about the same number of houses you have. You can look up Chesterfield for more information on the amount of houses they build. I think it's around 6,000. We're on the last 1,000. And in the plan, it was beautiful. They had nice commercial properties that looked like it would offset the residential bills. It is 8 to 10 years later, there is not one commercial property up yet. You know why? Because the builders say it won't pay for them to build any of the commercial properties until all the residential properties are in. And because it's built in phases, they won't put the commercial property in until the last residential property is in. Well, in the meantime, let me tell you what's happened. My taxes have gone up 50%. They have had to build a new town hall because they can't fit, there's so many more new people. And we had a new school. We still don't have these commercial properties, and there's no way those properties are going to offset what the bill is. You guys have a beautiful ecosystem here. You have a wonderful aquifer. Have you guys looked into like ecotourism or something like that? Forget these lies that concern that you're going to get commercial property. The residential properties will bring you down and make everyone's taxes go up. I promise you that. I have, right, that's all I can remember. So, thank you, but, you know, these plans never come out the way you want it. It's all going to be in the favor, and what happens is if there's a downturn in the economy like there was with us, 2008, all the best plans were renegotiated again, and the commercial properties came last, because let me tell you, quite frankly, the developers were going to go belly up if we didn't agree not to let them put the commercial properties in first. And it was just a disaster. So I asked you to look at some other communities and see what's happening with their tax rates and their development, and one to look at is Chesterfield Township, New Jersey. Thank you very much.
I'm Simmons. I moved down here approximately 2 years ago. Hovsons Township.
Your address?
49 Birchwood Drive. What I'm here to tell you is, this is not true, this is not right. A perfect example is Robbinsville. It started out small, they weren't going to hurt nobody, they weren't going to do this, they weren't going to do that. People are moving out of Robbinsville right now because the taxes are astronomical. And it's the truth. Go ask anybody over there that has a single home. I know somebody personally had to move out because the taxes were so. What you're doing now is not development on this magnitude is no good. Like I said, I've had my real estate license for a long time. I've seen this. This is not a thing, it's not new to me. This, you can do what you want, you can say what you want. But those taxes are going to go up. You've got school, protection, everything. And those taxes are all go up. And that's not fair. You can get more rentals, a business in here, fine. But I'm telling you now, I'm going to put it on record. No. Because it's not going to be any good. I've seen it. I've been in real estate. I've seen Martinsville, and the worst one was Robbinsville. Always going to help, 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 help. Next thing you know, they're going to build another school. They got to add on to another school. Or they have to add more lessons, or this and that. That's why it costs money. That's why it's the township money here. You've got to find something different. And like I said, if it gets that bad, let me ask you a question too. You fellas on the board here, and the mayor over there, are you willing to take a pay freeze? For the taxes start going up? You want us to pay all these taxes and all, and you want to take a pay freeze? I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding.
Let me answer that, man. I'm Councilman Fusar. I was first elected in 1990. All right. The township committee in 1990 was being paid $12,000 a year. All right. In 1990, we reduced the salary of council to $8,000. In 2000, it went to $10,000, and it stayed that ever since. So we've had a tax freeze for the past 16 years. Okay? So yes, we have no problem with this kind of tax freeze.
You have people down here, older people, and they ain't going to see their taxes are going to go up, and they are. There's no doubt about it, they're going to go up. I've seen it, and being in real estate now. I've seen it over there. Gee, they had to move out. They moved back to yards over there because they couldn't pay the tax. And they're both working. They can make good money. But it just got to be too much. And they're not the only ones, from what I hear. And with this, something like this going in like this, well, man, no. Especially people my age. Then you're going to need this. Then you're going to want that. Then you're going to tax everybody for this. It's going to happen.
Thank you. There's a way to build, there's a way to develop, and there's also a way to leave the beauty there to a degree. Developers, I'm very familiar with developers, and it's just like, it's full-fledged. And it can't be done that way. I'm just, you know, it's a cautioning point that everybody really has to take a look at, because it will happen. I've seen many of these developments up in North Jersey that the Hovsons built, okay? and I've seen them. And then you take a look at beautiful landscaped woods, and then all of a sudden, all you see is giant retaining walls and houses and developments up on top of them. And that, you know, it's just not. I know it's progress, but at what cost does it come? You know, it's got to be cautioned. It's just got to be cautioned. It's got to be cautioned for our children and our children's children, because it's just going to have a bad effect on their lives, and I worry about that. I have a granddaughter who lives down here, so I'm wondering, is this beauty going to be there for her to see? You know, and she comes over to my house and she looks out the door and she sees the deer out there, and she loves it. You know, so I'm not against progress. I'm not against it at all. I'm not against development. It's a necessary thing. I just would hope that it doesn't affect where I live greatly, okay? Because that's why I bought there, and I hope that it wouldn't affect the people of this town, this township greatly. And the most important thing to me is that these things catch wildfire because they're brought out that way. You know, this is a democracy. So if you really want the word of the people, put it up for vote. Let the people vote on it. I mean, most of these people in this room, they put these people into office, and the people here are supposed to work for the people and are supposed to listen to the people. That's what it's about. You know, that's the way real democracy works. You know, and I think sometimes these developers lose sight of this. You know, they're really concerned about the money. But the money is not the thing. The money is not the key to everything. It's a very important part of it, but it's not the most important part of it. The most important part of it is to maintain some of what we have down here. It's really beautiful here. There's a lot of beauty down here. But I do understand the challenges that the township and the council have, and the mayor has, with approaching something like this. But I would just hope that you folks approach it very slowly and keep both your eyes open. That's all. Thank you for your time.
We have a problem right now with the traffic coming out of the base. I am sure that this new complex will increase the number of people working at the base. And that's going to lead to more traffic on Route 70. With all due respect to my elder senior citizens, I'm a younger senior citizen. There are enough accidents on Route 70 right now. If you're going to put in commercial areas, there's a lot of commercial space available right now that's uninhabited. You're going to have more trucks moving around, with a senior citizen like myself getting a little bit nervous when they exceed the speed limit all the time. And it's, there's no need for it. Yes, our expenses go up, and you want to stop the expenses from going up. I don't need more taxes. When I moved into Point of Woods, my taxes were $5,800. They are now $7,800. And that's within 6.5 years. You're going to have age-restricted homes there. That means more ambulances. We don't have enough ambulances right now. I should know because I've had to use the ambulance 3 times to get to community hospital. And they're not exactly the speediest in that emergency room either. So all sorts of problems can arise. But commercially, you've got enough empty spaces now, and I just don't see it. Thank you very much.
Alan Baum, 12 Chelsea Drive, Fresh Village 7. I am concerned about what you want to do, especially because we don't have enough fire and first aid people in this town. You've got 2 fire companies on this side, we have 1 over at Whiting, 2 first aid squads, 1 on each side of town. I can tell you now, they're overburdened as they are right now. To put this development in, where do you think you're going to get the people? Where are we going to get the people for the first aid, for fire? It's not a good idea. And if you go ahead and build, you're asking for trouble, a lot of it.
Thank you.